Set for now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the Week 18 edition of the Saturday Sideline Report on the Sports Insanity Network. Mike Rifkin, Lawrence Patchman Line coming at you. Patchy, what's going on, my friend?
Good morning, brother. I am doing well. It was a fun, productive, new first week of the year at work at the grocery store. Had some ups and downs, but that's over with for the week. We're off on a Saturday for once. And we're here to talk some football because we got two big games here on Saturday for the NFL. Let's get to it.
We have two games with large playoff implications. Week 18, everyone means it's all divisional games. So it's all the divisional teams who play each other. So we're going to start with the game this afternoon, which is one of the best rivalries in all of football. It's the Chiefs and the Raiders. Now, the Chiefs, look, this is a big game for the Chiefs and really the Chiefs only, but the Chiefs win this game, they become the number one seed in the AFC based on what happened last week with the Bills-Bengals game, which got canceled, will not be made up after the Damar Hamlin situation. Good news is Damar Hamlin is awake and he's doing much better. So thoughts and prayers are still with him. So the Chiefs can get the one seed. There is a catch. This is an article from the AP. Roger Goodell proposed the other night the AFC Championship game would be played at a neutral site if the Chiefs earned home field over Cincinnati or Buffalo by virtue of having played one more game. I don't know the situation of where those stadiums are being discussed, but so the Chiefs will get the one seed if they win today. For the Raiders, it's just playing out the end of the season. And once again, it won't be Derek Carr. It'll be Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. So, Patch, let's just start with this first, and then we can move on deeper into the game. Do you think the NFL handled it right, the situation here between the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals?
It's very interesting because, this practically, the way they handle this is it takes Cincy away from either getting the 2 seed or the 1 seed. I mean, they can still get the 2nd seed if they win, Buffalo loses, they move to the 2nd seed. But, for Monday's implications, if Cincy won against Buffalo and then won on Sunday, the Chiefs lost, Buffalo lost, Cincy would be the 1 seed according to, all the statisticals and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, the best that Cincy can do is get the 2nd seed with a Buffalo loss and they win. But I wish, and not that I wish, but I think like they could have just added an 8 seed each division, give the 1 and 2nd seed a bye, and then you can just do the rest of your playoff format. You can still keep everything on schedule. If you add an 8 seed to both divisions, okay, we can add 1 more team each, and then that way, everyone, the top 3 seeds could have fought for something, because you take away this game, which is, it's honestly no big deal, throw out the window. Let's move on from it. And with that, okay, it happened. But I think there needs to be something set to set something up if this, God forbid, ever happens again. Like, practically you're taking away a chance for Cincy to obviously play for something. But, we have to accept what the NFL did. To me right now, it's the right thing to do, Okay, a coin flip can decide home field advantage for a game, or a neutral site can be played for a title game. I'm fine with that. It's just, I'm glad they came up with something and they took their time with it and they just didn't rush into it.
Yeah. My thing is, and I get it, the Bills went into Kansas City earlier and had beaten the Chiefs. The Bengals had beaten the Chiefs. So I think under what the circumstances are and something we have never seen before, I think the NFL did the best they could. I really do. So I'm not going to sit here and yell and scream about home field or what's going to happen. I can't do it because of the situation that occurred. So if the Chiefs get to the AFC title game against the Bills or the Bengals, that'll probably be played at a neutral site. They don't. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So, but that's down the road. The Chiefs win. They're the number one seed. The Raiders, the season's over. Um, they are they're just playing out the end of the year. Jarrett Stidham will make his second start. He played last week. He played fairly well against the 49ers. We're the best defense in football, but let's be realistic here. Excuse me. Jarrett Stidham's not the answer for the Raiders. So they're going to go out and whether it's a trade or free agency, maybe even the draft, that someone else will be taking steps for the Raiders. Derek Carr will no longer be a Las Vegas Raider of Oakland. That's kind of sad. I kind of think they did him dirty.
It's very interesting because it's most likely saying Derek Carr is out of Las Vegas going into 2023 season. To me, there's a couple possibilities. He can end up somewhere else. New Orleans is looking for a quarterback. Atlanta, if the Jets decide to part ways with Zach Wilson and, Mike White isn't the answer, he can end up in New York. Indy's looking. And ultimately, you can even throw Green Bay in there if Aaron Rodgers decides to leave and they're not ready to put Jordan Love to the test.
I mean, I'm going to throw Washington in there too. That they don't seem to know what their quarterback situation is going to be going forward. But so that's the situation for Derek Carr. Second meeting of the year between these two. The Chiefs won an incredible Monday night game after trailing 17-0. They came back to win this game 30-29. Mahomes 29 of 43, 292 and 4 touchdowns. Derek Carr 19 of 32, 41, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams had a great game, 3 catches, 124 and 2 touchdowns. And Travis Kelce scored all 4 Chief touchdown passes from Mahomes. I wrote something on this for the network probably a couple of weeks ago now. I know the MVP award, and people love doing it, giving it to the quarterbacks. It's become a quarterback award. Travis Kelce has a very interesting case as an MVP.
Well, he does.
After the Tyreek Hill trade, he's become the guy.
Yeah, he's that number one guy for Pat Mahomes right now because the rest of the the Kansas City receivers seem to be lackluster, and when in doubt, you go to old reliable.
Which I've never understood why defenses haven't doubled or triple team. Like that's the guy you got to take away. If Juju or Marquez Valdez-Scantling beat me, so be it. I won't let Travis Kelce beat me, but that's a whole nother conversation. So it's the Chiefs and the Raiders at 4:30. Chiefs win. They're the 1 seed. Raiders season, it's over. Derek Carr's 10 years a Raider, over. Josh McDaniels will get another year, mainly because the Raiders can't afford to fire him, which is really just ridiculous. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. The second game tonight, legitimately a lot of playoff, a lot on the line. It's the Titans, it's the Jaguars, and the winner wins the AFC South. Let's freaking go. Again, second meeting of the year, the Jags beat the Titans a couple of weeks ago, 36-22 in Nashville. Trevor Lawrence, 30 of 42, 368 yards and 3 touchdowns. Evan Ingram had 2 of those on 11 catches at 162 yards. Derrick Henry had 121 yards and a touchdown. But Patch, excuse me, key to this game for the Jaguars, who've been on an incredible run, was they forced 4 Titan turnovers. And that's how they got this win in Tennessee. Now they come home on this incredible run, and they win. They're in the playoffs, and nobody saw that coming.
Not many, because, Trevor Lawrence, once again, I think I reiterated this, I think the other day on SIP, that the man could have a case for a comeback player because, he went through the Urban Meyer debacle in his rookie season, and we all know how Urban Meyer turned out in Jacksonville. It was horrendous, to say the least. So to see Trevor Lawrence succeed in his second year in the league is fantastic. It's happy to see the old Lawrence back. To say that, hey, had a month of December, 8 ATDs, 1 INT, great stats for December. He's on a tear right now, and that momentum is on Jacksonville's side because Tennessee is on a 6-game losing streak, and Tennessee just seems to be crumbling under its own feet. The Titans have fallen, to say the least.
I mean, they're sinking quicker than the Titanic.
And we know how long it took for the Titanic to sink.
But, while the Titans have crumbled, like the Jaguars have, never pardon the pun, the Jaguars are on the prowl. Like, they have won 4 in a row and 5 of 6. And some of these, I don't want to say some of these games, but you look, they find a way to beat the Ravens in Jacksonville. They find a way to come back and beat the Cowboys. That's impressive. They go on the road. I know the Jets aren't great, but they find a way to win on a short week at the Jets in the rain and the wind and all that. They win that game. Last week they stomped the Texans out. Trevor Lawrence, you're right. He's coming into his own. The whole offense is playing well. Defensively, they're playing well. I mean, they've given up 6 points combined the last 2 weeks. I know it's the Jets and the Texans, but that's a great sign. 6 points in 2 weeks. So the job Doug Peterson has done with this team has been nothing short of phenomenal. Flip it to the other side. Listen, I like Mike Vrabel. I think he's a good coach. I don't know what's going on with the Titans. Go ahead.
Well, we can start with the defense. They're ranked 15th right now and giving up points at 339, which is, middle of the pack. But you think the defense can show up a little bit to help this team get a win, because let's look at their last 6. 20-16 loss against Cincy, 35-10 against Philly, L. Jacksonville, 36-22, L. Chargers, 17-14, L. Houston, 19-14, L. And then they lose to Dallas, 27-13. It's like this defense is giving up a whole bunch of points, and it's not helping them on the offensive side. Once again, their offense is ranked 28th with only scoring 282 points. I mean, only teams worse than that are Pittsburgh 280, Indy 258, Texas 250, Texans 257, and then Broncos country, let's ride Denver with 256. So like this team is not putting up points to get a win and to help this team maybe have the AFC South already wrapped up. Because once again, loser of their last six, it's like we said, this team is like the Titanic right now, and it is sinking quick.
And listen. I go back to the offseason, and it's one of my biggest gripes. There is no way this team should have traded AJ Brown. And look, I get it. You traded him, and then you drafted a guy whose comp is the same guy. And I like Traylon Burks. He's probably got a future. AJ Brown is a top 10 receiver in football. The Eagles traded you a first round pick for him and then just paid him $20 million a year. You couldn't afford him $5 and $100 million? To me, like, something out there is wrong with that. I love Derrick Henry, but they're going to run him into the ground. The quarterback situation is a mess. Tannehill's out tonight. They're going to play Josh Dobbs again. It's just division to them. Because the only team I thought who could compete with them coming into the year was that's a mess. The Texans, I kind of thought would stink. Everyone thought would stink. And the Jags, I thought, okay, the Jags won't be as would be more competitive, but they're not ready for a division title. I'm wrong on the Jags. They're there. They're ready. And I'll put it out there now. I think the Jags win tonight.
I have the Jags winning too. You know, they'll be if they win tonight, it's their second AFC South title since 2017. So they will be their second in team history. But then again, if Tennessee wins, they win their third straight because they've been back to back. And then if Tennessee wins, we fall into a little fun situation of a losing record team makes the playoffs.
How many times does that happen before a patch?
Telling you off air 5 times. And we're going to go through the little history of it right now. Dating back, first 2 teams are from the 82 strike, where we know the NFL went on strike. The Browns made it with a 4-5 record because we had a very short season that year. Didn't make it far. Lost to the Raiders 27-10. Then the 82 Lions, also 4-5 record. They lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions, and it's a great 30 for 30, the year of the scab. We got 31-7 loss. And then most recently, we had the Seahawks in 2010, 7-9. They won one game. They beat New Orleans in a thriller, 41-36. Then they lost to the Bears.
That was the Marshawn Lynch beast mode run.
The coming out of beast mode. Then they lost to the Bears, 35-24. 2014 Panthers went 7-8-1. They beat Arizona after, Arizona was on a third-string quarterback in Ryan Lidley because Carson Palmer and Drew Stanton were both injured.
Mm.
Then they won, so 27-16. Then they lost to Seattle, 31-17. And then most recent, we had the Washington football team in 2020. They went 7-9, and they lost to Tampa Bay 31-23. And then speaking of Tampa Bay, if Tampa Bay loses on Sunday, they also go into the playoffs with a losing record. So,
crazy times in the NFL. We're at week 18. I'm excited for today's 2 games. Tomorrow, full slate. We're going to come at you tomorrow morning with Sunday Sideline Report. We'll go more full in depth on what's going to be at stake tomorrow. And we'll have some more fun. But Enjoy the 2 games tonight. For Lawrence Patchman, I'm Mike Rifkin. You've been listening to the Sunday Sideline Report on the Sports Insanity Network YouTube page. Check out the website, www.thesportsinsanitynetwork.com, for blogs, vlogs, planes, trains, and automobiles. Meet the crew. Check out all the podcasts, Anchor, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Check out more videos like this on the YouTube page. So enjoy it. Check out social medias. We're on Twitter at SInsaneReal.
Mhm.
That's Twitter handle. We're on the Facebook also. Enjoy your Saturday, everyone. Stay safe. Have a good one, and namaste.
Namaste. And say goodnight to your mama. Mama loves you.